Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome to another challenge. It's been a while since I last done a challenge video here in this channel, but I think it's time for us to revisit this concept and play one of my favorite games of all time here. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is definitely a game I've played multiple times throughout my life, and I know a lot of stuff about this game, and because of that, today I'm going to be facing the 3 childhood bosses in this game blindfolded. Now, the last challenge video I've actually done on this channel was a blindfold challenge as well. And I was thinking, after I'd done that blindfold challenge, what else could I play blindfolded? And the first game that really came to my mind was Ocarina of Time. Now, you may be thinking this is kind of a hard game to play through entirely without vision, and you'd be correct. It is possible to do it. A handful of people have tried playing through this game without even seeing anything, and it is possible based on sound cues and a bunch of different setups, but I'm gonna just be tackling the 3 childhood bosses in this game today, as I think that's more than enough of a challenge just to get an idea of how to play this game without vision. So I've already set up a file here, so I'm gonna load it up, and the game I'm playing here in particular is not just the base Ocarina of Time. I'm playing using the practice ROM known as GZ. And the reason for this is because I want to set up a file specifically for fighting these bosses, and that way we can just jump straight from boss to boss without having to play through the story beats in this game. So I'm mainly using this just for time's sake. We're not going to be using any kind of cheat codes or any extra save states or anything like that in this. We're going to be playing this from start to finish legitimately. I'm just using the practice ROM. That way it makes things flow a little bit better for this video. So for the file here we have prepared, I gave myself the max amount of hearts, the max magic, the maximum of everything to carry, and that's simply because I want to be able to just play these bosses from start to finish as long as possible. And while I could just go in, say like the first boss, Goma, with 3 hearts and just the bare minimum of stuff, for time's sake, I don't want to keep on restarting the boss fights over and over again. So I wanted to make this a little more fair on me since, I'm going to be playing this game without using my eyes. So I wanted to go ahead and just set up a file in such a way where we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So I think without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump to our first boss in the game, Goma. Alright, so we're at our first boss in the game, Goma. And I'm already set up ready to go here. We just entered the door into the boss room. So I think now it's time for us to equip the blindfold. So let me take off my headphones here and let's go ahead and put on the blindfold. Alright, there we go. We're all set. So I guess one thing I should mention before we get started on this is that how I'm playing this the entire time is I need to use sound cues in this game. And luckily Ocarina of Time is a pretty good game when it comes to the sound cues. So I can hear when I'm jumping to the left, to the right, which direction certain enemies are coming from. So all of that I need to use to my advantage, because without being able to see, a lot of stuff in this game is a lot harder. And because I've played this game a lot, I at least know in the very beginning when we had to look up the trigger Goma. So I want to get all this explanation out of the way now, because once I start playing this game, I'm not going to be able to focus on commentary too much. So I may just be saying what I'm thinking out loud, and that's about it. So I think now with all that said, let's play the video game. So I'm going to go ahead and just start off with Z targeting and roll 3 times, and then do a jump slash. Alright, there you go. So I wanted to jump slash into the boss fight because if I can do this, it would be preferred. I'm not sure if I can, but there's a glitch in this game called power crouch stabbing. And with power crouch stabbing, I can use a jump slash power with just a normal stab attack. So because of that, I'm just storing it because I'm just kind of used to it. I don't know if I can use it in this kind of situation, but we'll try. Alright, so here we go. First boss. Alright, gonna stun you with the Deku Nut, and unfortunately, I couldn't really do any damage afterwards, so I'm gonna just have to rely on where Goma's going. So she's climbing up to the ceiling. She's not doing anything now, so she's getting ready to lay her eggs. I'll just have to take out the little babies, using my Deku Nuts here to my advantage. can't really tell where the enemies just went. Goma just fell. Okay, I just did more damage to Goma. I'm honestly surprised I didn't hit one of her babies. So, she's almost dead. One more jump slash with the stick and she'll die. I guess one thing to note is that you're not supposed to have magic for this fight. So my spin attacks are a little bit bigger, but that really shouldn't change this fight, to be honest. Especially because I'm not using it against the boss. It's just for her babies. Okay. There we go. I heard one of the babies nearby, but I didn't know where it was. Alright, Goma's back down. Let me put away my sword. Think I'm in front of Goma? Oh, I don't want my stick out. I have my stick out. There you go. Alright, Goma's dead. So, to end this, I need to get in the blue warp. So, I can't take off the blindfold until we enter that blue warp. So if I pick up an extra heart container, that's whatever. That might guide me to the boss exit, but I don't really need the heart. I need to get out of here. Alright, so I gave me the heart container, so now I'm going to have 21 hearts, which you're not supposed to have in this game, but that doesn't really matter. Now I need to figure out where I'm at. Alright, the blue warp's a little to my left. And I got it. So now I can take off the blindfold. I did it. I beat the first boss in the game without seeing it all. That really wasn't that bad. Surprisingly, Goma was being kind of nice to me. So that helps a lot. So I think now with that done, let's go ahead and skip over to boss number 2. Okay, so here we are in boss number 2. So let's go ahead and change our equips around. And then once I get my equips, then I'm going to put on the blindfold. The reason why I'm not going to go through this menu without vision is because that is just an unnecessary thing. Our challenge today is fighting these bosses. It's not trying to put the right item on the right slot. So, in this case, I'm going to put bombs on C down. And as long as I remember that, this shouldn't be that bad. So, let's go ahead and re-equip the blindfold. And let's go ahead and do this. So, I'm just going to run and hold a bomb. I'm going to stop here. I'm still on the ground. Okay. I definitely missed the hole. I don't think it blew up. Wow, the hardest part about this boss fight is actually going to get into the fight. Because I'm definitely sure I should have blew it up already. I'm going to just throw the bomb this time. Okay, that blew up the hole this time. I don't know how I missed it the other 2 times. I'll definitely have to see this back in post and see just how far off I was with that bomb. I felt like I was on top by the time the bomb exploded, but I guess not. So now it's time for boss number 2, King Dodongo here. King Dodongo's strategy is just throw a bomb in his mouth and run away. If I keep close to him, I should be able to stay locked on this whole time. So just throw the bomb, back away a little bit, jump slash, and if I stay locked on, it shouldn't matter what he does. So I should be keeping up with him. Alright, he's done rolling around, so he's gonna continue to walk towards me. Put another bomb in his mouth. I missed. Okay, I think I got hit by him. So I'm definitely losing track of where I'm at this point. Alright, I'm in the lava, so get out. Okay, he's running again. Wasn't expecting that. I still have my shield at least. I want to keep Deku's shield equipped because I don't stop dead in my tracks like I do with Hylian's shield. Alright, so get out of the lava once again. Alright, just keep on chucking bombs. I definitely lost track from at this point. I don't know if I'm still locked on at this point. I feel like I may be locked on. Yeah, I'm still locked on. Alright, now I got a bomb on him. Alright, there we go. I missed with the first jump slash, but at least I got him with the second one. King Dodongo, honestly, is probably the easiest boss in the whole game, so I did have some trouble keeping up with him, but at least I was still able to kill him relatively quick. Because all you need to do to kill this guy fast is just 2 jump slashes with the Deku Stick. So now time for the hard part. Time to figure out where that warp is. So if I just roll forward, maybe I can get to it. So there's the heart container. And there you go. Okay. Now the best part about the blue warp is that you can hear what direction you're going in relation to where the blue warp is, because the blue warp goes based on where you're facing for sound cues, and I was able to tell that whole time that the blue warp was somewhere on my left. So every time I turned left, I would try to hear, is it getting more centered in my headphones for the sound? And if it is, then I know I'm closer and closer to the blue warp. If I hear it in both ears, then I know I'm just right in front of it, and I just have to walk forward. So now with King Dodongo, we have one more boss fight we're going to be fighting in this video, and that is Baronade. So I'll go ahead and meet you guys at our final boss for today's video. Alright, so here we are outside of Baronade's boss store here in Jabu Jabu's Belly. Now the reason why we're not starting immediately in the boss room is because the second we go into that fight, there's going to be a cutscene starting, and I want to make sure we're prepared before we go in, so I already changed out my equips. So we have the stick still on C left, nuts down on C down, and then boomerang on C right. So this is all we're going to be needing for the fight. Hopefully this one should go pretty smoothly, depending on what happens, because Jabu Jabu is already one of the harder dungeons as a child, but the boss fight especially is the hardest out of the 3 child bosses. And since I won't have any vision, it's going to be hard to keep track of where to go against this boss. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight in. Now, my big worry about this boss fight is after we cut off the tentacles on the top holding down Baronade in the center of the room, this boss fight's going to become a lot harder to manage because Baronade's going to start moving all around the room. And if I lose track of where Baronade is, then it's going to be hard to figure out where the boss is in general. And after knocking him down from the ceiling, I got to worry about taking off the jellyfish surrounding him too, which is why we have the Deku Nuts equipped, because Deku Nuts will kill those jellyfish immediately. Now I should just circle around Baronade, and then just throw my boomerang a couple times. Walked right into the boss, that was not good. Back away a little bit then. Alright, that's Tentacle 2, Tentacle 3. Alright, now just throw the boomerang, hope for the best. Sound like I stunned Baronade. Okay, I guess I didn't because I'm not hearing a jellyfish dying. Oh, there you go. Yep, definitely stunned Baronade that time. I'm just gonna roll around the room, throw around some Deku Nuts. Guess I gotta restun the boss. Do it again. Okay, there we go. It's another jellyfish down. This one's definitely hard to tell from sound cues alone if I'm getting the jellyfish, because I don't know exactly where they're at by sound cues. It sounds like they're all over the room, but that's not the case. Okay, ran in the Baronade, I'm guessing. Oh, there you go. I got another jellyfish. There you go. Okay, that's phase 2. Now for phase 3. Baronade gets a lot faster. The jellyfish definitely swarm around them more, so I'm gonna have a harder time hitting him, or I could just get him first try with the boomerang, apparently. Alright, so that's all the jellyfish. Now into the final phase. Or, no, I guess there's still some jellyfish left. Yep, still some jellyfish left. Okay, now it sounds like I got them all. Yep, now he's firing out lasers here. Or, lasers. They're lightning bolts. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to run into Baronade on purpose because I want to reset the pattern. Because then I can immediately throw a boomerang again. And then stun Baronade. run in the Baronade again. That way to get back up and running. Throw Boomerang. Jump Slash. Oh, I didn't actually stun Baronade. Let me try that again. There you go. Okay, Baronade's dead. So now all I have to do is get into the blue warp. As long as I can get into the blue warp, then we're in the clear. So this one's gonna be probably a little bit trickier because this room is kind of big and it is pulsating, so I think that kind of hurts me sound-wise. Also, I don't know where I am in relation to the warp right away. Okay, now I'm facing the right way. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. This one has Rudo, so this is actually the easiest out of the warps because I could just target Rudo and just roll. Yeah, that's it. So Rudo's talking. And that is it. We're in the blue warp. Alright, so I could take off the blindfold now. So that was actually a lot better than I thought. I thought this would be one of the harder blue warps to get into because of sound cues, but I kind of forgot actually that I could just lock on the Rudo with Z targeting. And that makes this whole thing way easier. So, yeah, there you go. That was all the child bosses here in Ocarina of Time beaten blindfolded. Now, I could have also tried fighting the adult bosses in this as well in the same fashion, but those boss fights would definitely take a lot longer to do, and they are a little more complicated, so I don't know how easy or hard that would be for a blindfold challenge. Definitely a lot more difficult than the child bosses, for sure blindfolded. So I'm not exactly sure if I would want to try fighting the adult bosses right now blindfolded. Maybe in the future we'll revisit this game and try fighting adult bosses blindfolded and see how it goes. But for now, I'm very happy that we were able to beat all 3 of the childhood bosses in Ocarina of Time without actually seeing a single thing. This game is great when it comes to sound cues and setup, so it makes this very doable. And I definitely recommend people at home try this for yourself as well. This was a lot of fun to do. And I'm very shocked of how well we did in certain boss fights. Especially when it came to how Baronade was kind of going at one point, because I thought I was doing pretty bad there with the jellyfish being out in the Baronade fight. But then once the jellyfish went away, then like the final cycle of that fight went by pretty quick. And Goma especially was pretty easy. I think out of the 3 bosses, the one we had the hardest time with was King Dodongo, surprisingly. Even though he's the easiest boss in the game, the hardest part for us in that fight was just trying to figure out where he was in relation to us so we can get another bomb in his mouth. The first hit was easy, but the second hit a little more complicated because of how much further away I'm guessing we were, so we weren't close enough to throw the bomb in the mouth. But again, I'll be finding this all out in post, so I could just be saying things that aren't true at this point. So I think now, with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video on that note. So thank you guys for watching this video. This was a lot of fun. We'll maybe revisit this topic again sometime in the future, but for now, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.